everybody, the Analog Oracle here. I woke up this morning and things just got a little bit crazy. Trying to catch up on the weekend and preparing for the week, I once again started digesting what's going on in the world, and it's almost unbelievable. It's unspeakable. We are all living through this, and it's hard to believe. This isn't going to be just another episode of the Analog Oracle today. This is really an emergency broadcast about the assault on American democracy. It's happening right before our eyes. It's just shocking. So as usual, I'm your host, and I'm not going to pretend to be dispassionate today. This isn't going to be a discussion about like the slow things we can do. We really need to wake up and start taking, stock of what is going on. What we're witnessing isn't normal. I know a lot of people keep saying this, but it is far from normal. It's not politics as usual, folks. This is the methodical dismantling of everything that makes America a democracy. You know, this weekend, while Americans were dying in tornado ravaged communities across multiple states, what was Trump doing? He was golfing at his own club, at his own tournament, and shockingly, he won that tournament. Can you believe it? Good for him. While families were digging through rubble to find their loved ones, he was celebrating yet another suspicious victory on the links. And what was happening around him at that time? There was a party going on where people were celebrating and potentially purchasing a $500,000 handbag. It was a $400,000 for a single handbag. While we were losing homes, livelihoods, their lives. This isn't normal. This isn't what anybody in this country experiences on any normal day. This is obscene. It's an obscene display of wealth and indifference in the midst of another national tragedy. It isn't just tone deaf. That's what we have to get past. It isn't that he's just callous and doesn't understand. This is him literally slapping every American in the face. Is this leadership? Is this even basic human decency? This callous disregard is breathtaking, and it should outrage every single American, regardless of your political background. Look around. Our closest allies, these are nations that have stood with us through world wars and global crises, are now being treated like they're our enemies. Meanwhile, the dictators and authoritarians around the world are being embraced and praised. Let's speak plainly here, folks. For years, the intelligence experts in the US and around the world have voiced real concerns about Putin's influence over Trump. Now, whether he's an active agent for Putin or not, look at the results. NATO's weakened, our strongest alliances are being fractured, and America is being isolated. Our global standing is now in tatters and just getting worse. There's really not much more he could do to fulfill Putin's wildest dreams. He couldn't, even if he tried harder, I don't think he could do more. Now, is this a coincidence? And at what point do we stop pretending and recognize this pattern for what it is? Now, what is he doing? What tools is he using? Folks, the tariffs, these aren't just bad policy. This is economic warfare against everyday Americans. From our leadership, prices are skyrocketing on essential goods. We all talk about eggs. That's become like the hot button issue, but it's on everything. The stock market is in absolute turmoil. And for what? So he can claim that he's a tough guy? He's a tough guy against our friends. He doesn't have the guts to go up against our enemies. And working families are paying the price, quite literally, at the grocery store, at the gas pump, everywhere. Retirement accounts that took decades to build are hemorrhaging value. If you have a 401k, if you have any investments in the market, I'd recommend you check them out. I know I did, and it's not looking good, folks. This isn't abstract economics. This is your money. This is our money. It's your future, your security being sacrificed on the altar of this person's ego. The assault on Medicaid is nothing short of cruel. And make no mistake, Medicare is next on the block. Millions of Americans, our parents, our grandparents, and our most vulnerable neighbors are being told that healthcare isn't worth protecting. And our veterans, I mean, these are the supposedly this party and this, Trump himself are the big heroes and big believers and lovers of our veterans. The men and women, like those veterans, the men and women who put their lives on the line for us, for our country, he's fired a record number from government service. Remember the support that we put in place for burn pit victims and veterans? How about the 9/11 first responders? All of that funding, gone. The VA is absolutely being gutted. Now, these patriots survived war zones only to be abandoned by the government they fought to protect. This is beyond shameful. This is absolutely unforgivable. And the watchdog agencies that were put in place that are supposed to protect us from corruption and abuse of power, they're being systematically dismantled. And they're being dismantled because we have a president and a Congress who are in collusion to impose authoritarian order over the United States. Now, career professionals at the FBI and CIA, these are professionals. These are career people. They aren't politically motivated. They never have been, no matter what he says. These are patriots who served both Republican and Democratic administrations. Their goal was to uphold the law. These people, these patriots, are being purged and they're being replaced with loyalists whose only qualification is blind devotion. Because an authoritarian needs these agencies, these legal agencies, and this executive structure in place in order to make his dreams come true. Now, this isn't about reform. This is capture. This is what happens before a democracy falls. These institutions don't belong to any president. They belong to us as the American people. And they're being corrupted before our very eyes while the Congress just stands back and watches. And worse, cheers it on. And perhaps the most disturbing is the celebration of cruelty we're witnessing from the highest offices in the land. This isn't just indifference to suffering. This is a deliberate infliction of pain as policy. It's entertainment for them. It's because they want to prove their power. And what better way to prove your power? Make people hurt. Now, he and his enablers, including his billionaire co-president, don't just accept cruelty as a side effect of their policies. They revel in it. They tweet about it. They laugh about it at rallies. The suffering of others isn't an unfortunate byproduct. It's the point of what they're doing. And the members of Congress who have sworn oaths to uphold the Constitution, they're not just failing to stop this. Many are actively participating in the destruction of our democratic norms. That these are norms that have sustained our republic for almost 250 years now. Now, make no mistake about what we're witnessing. This is not normal political disagreement. This is not both sides. This is the deliberate establishment of one-man rule. This is what dictators do. Folks, he is a monster. An absolute monster. And we need to stop him. It's not just about political preference. It's not just about policy disagreement, but it's for the very survival of our American democracy. Now, the warnings from history couldn't be clearer. The time for polite concern is long past. The time for compromise is it's gone. If we want to keep our republic, we have to fight for it with our voices, with our votes, and with every peaceful means available to us as citizens. Now, thanks for the time today. This is the Analog Oracle. Just want to stress the fate of our democracy is in our hands. The time to act is now. Get your voice out there. Make yourself heard before it's too late.